Hello, everybody. Can you all hear me? Hey, Semi-Ernie. Hey, Semi-Ernie. All right, we've got the link pinned up there. For anybody that wants to join on in, tap that link. Waiting for people to come in. Yep, I'd like to thank everybody that definitely got me to 1,000 today. Thank you very much. It's all about you. So you all got to give yourself a pat on the back. It wouldn't be possible without all of you that are doing it. So I definitely want to thank everybody. If anybody wants to come on the panel, the link should be posted on the top there, please. Tap that. And if some of you are new to Restream, it's better off to put it in through Chrome in order to come up. Zero, super salty. Miss Sweet the People's doing good. Getting better, slowly but surely. And we've got Semi-Ernie coming in here. Hold on here. We'll move this over to here. Hey, Ernie, what's going on, brother?
Sitting at the house, man. How you doing?
Good. Other than a little bit of snow here being today, but for the most part, we're doing really good. What's up with you today?
Oh shit, sitting around the house right now.
Oh, yeah. I can't do that. I still got to transport a lawnmower and kind of finish the last of it. I didn't get, for some odd reason, they didn't send me the rest of the brakes on the other side. So I'm working on a John Deere 317 and trying to get that
Ooh.
done for a Christmas present for my father-in-law.
Oh man, I wish I was around.
Yeah.
I love doing mechanic work.
Oh, yeah.
Don't tell nobody though.
But yeah, we've been
Yeah, man.
working on that today, getting it done. We finally got the fluid in it and everything else. That's what takes the longest. But
Oh, man. Yeah, I was shouting you out last night, man, trying to get you there. I heard you had like 14 to go or 15 to go, and I got you a couple last night,
yeah.
you know. So you got there today then.
So far the one before I logged out, it was over 1,001. So yes, we definitely got to thank everybody. Definitely thank Ernie, everybody on other channels. all the subscribers that have, it's just not us that do it. It's all everybody else that has channels that help everybody out. So I got to thank everybody, not only the subscribers, but other channels as well. So I'll definitely thank everybody that's got me up to 1,000, at least for today.
That's cool, man. That is so cool. I'm so happy for you, man.
Thank you. I got to see if I got to plug something in here differently. Let me hold on here. Let me see if I can get this to run through the speakers in my headset. Communications.
Oh, there we go. I got. Hey, Super Salty, Aguilos, how you doing?
Intel microphone communications. Noise canceling. Video. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna have to leave it like that. Hopefully, we don't get no feedback coming through.
I can see the chat now. Next,
yeah, this is Restream, because I don't know if you use Restream or not at all, Ernie, but this is what Restream is.
Yeah, I see it there. I do StreamYards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going down the highway.
Yeah.
Is this you don't have to pay for this, do you?
Oh yeah, I do pay for this. They do have a free version that you could put 6 on a panel, but and with Restream, there is no, at least not that I've noticed, there is no time amount that you have on here.
Okay.
So I mean, for the most part, I have done a couple panels on here already with only 6, but then we ended up moving up to a premium brand. So now we could get actually 10 on here and everything. So
yeah, I get that already, and I it's $20 a month for StreamYards, so that's how I do it.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, Evil Gamer, how you doing, Deborah? Hey, girls, hey.
Going on, everybody?
You gonna do live streams on Monday again?
Yeah. How's the new job?
Oh man, for a 58-year-old, that's what did I get myself into? But you know what? It's great money.
Yeah.
It sure beats the other company, you know.
Right.
And gear jamming again. I am doing my best to figure this 8 speed out.
Right.
Going to, having a automatic for like 7 freaking years and then going to an 18 speed, it's just like, what was you thinking, boy?
Right.
But I like it. I love doing it, but getting used to the, pulling the ramps and chain, and, that's second nature. It's going to, I'm going to get the, the physical part back down again.
Right.
Because I can whole body a mile, so I'll get used to it. How you doing, brother?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good.
Hello,
you?
Casey, everybody that's coming in slowly but surely.
Just chilling. Got a couple of my guys in the chat. They're messing with me.
Yeah, I see that. Slowdown is.
Oh yeah, he's my biggest one. Or you'll have Try
who the other one that was in here?
CJ, which is Gaming Boy. Yeah.
Right.
Yep. I promoted your channel also on VI or VC Live. They gave me a wrench and I dropped yours. I dropped Mudpig. Anybody I knew.
Sweet.
Hello, Gaming Boy. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, a lot of everybody from your crowd is coming in. Good to see everybody. Kyle, Merry Christmas to you.
Ernie, you should have drove on my Super Can. He's trying to get
we got a spammer calling the fax line. They'll get to know it after about 7 rings, and they'll get that in their ear.
Yeah. Yeah, we went down to no phone.
Well, they're gonna rip me a good one,
right?
Yeah,
we got to figure out how to run this through speakers. Yeah, I don't think I can do it that way.
Hi, Ernie. My name's Zero. I'm the Zero TV Squad. You see me a lot.
How you doing, cool? Okay, all right. How you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. As you can tell, you got a couple of my guys in the chat saying mess with me. You're gonna see that a lot. They love when I'm on the panels.
Yeah, his group that are on Twitch, they do that a lot.
They're feisty.
Oh yeah.
I got the young group.
Yeah, I got a whole different crowd in my room. But I just want to come on and congratulate you there, buddy.
Zero armies here.
Hello, Donald. Good to see you.
I haven't seen none of mine.
So we have currently in the middle screen there, we have Semi Ernie with us. And then on the other side there, we have Zero TV Squad. A lot of you have seen him as a moderator. Ernie definitely is out on the road just like me. He is hauling cars now. And we're going to have the discussion panel of trucks versus railroad. I do have a couple clips in here, and if somebody more wants to join in, you can definitely hit that link up on the top, and then we'll definitely start getting this panel discussion going. So let's hold on here.
Salty.
We'll get the first one to go. This one is going to be compliments of Mother Trucker. So everyone just stand back. Mics will be muted once this plays. So let's carry on.
What's going on, Mother Truckers? This is a big update to what's going on with the railroad strike, and this is so important because on December 9th, if this strike were to happen, the freaking American economy would look at truck drivers to move that freight, and there were a lot of truck drivers looking for that big payday of the year. But it looks like there's an update to this. You know, the government couldn't handle this. President Biden said, you know what, I need the help of Congress with this.
Well, look, I hope everyone had a nice Thanksgiving. And I asked 4 top leaders in Congress whether they'd be willing to come in and talk about what we're going to do between now and Christmas in terms of legislation. And there's a lot to do, including resolving the train strike and what we're doing now. And Congress, I think, has to act to prevent it. It's not an easy call, but I think we have to do it.
And pretty much they intervened, and when they did, they put together a bill, and that bill got passed to Senate today, and that bill was passed and now gets sent to President Biden, and now it looks like he will sign it. You know, the thing that the railroad workers wanted was more pay, but the other part of that was they wanted 7 days of sick leave. They wanted 7 days just in case they needed off if they were sick. And guess what? That part is not a part of the bill.
On this tentative agreement without the paid sick leave that many progressives demanded.
Right. I get it, but saying that they ought to have paid sick leave and then getting in there and saying to the Warren Buffetts of the world, give these guys paid sick leave, or the White House is going to make you guys out to be the bad guys, and you're going to be the ones that are forced to blink after your reputations take a number of hits. That's a different matter. We've heard from multiple union workers who feel like the Biden administration has let them down.
You know, these railroad companies, the Warren Buffetts of the world, make billions of dollars a year in profit, and that would have cost them a measly $600 million for sick leave to help out their railroad workers. So they said no to it, you know, and so people are outraged. People are extremely upset about this, and when President Biden signs this, pretty much it'll make it illegal for railroad workers to strike. You know, Mother Truckers, comment down below. What are your thoughts about this? Do you think that the government should ever get involved with these type of contracts? Or do you think that it was wrong? Because a lot of people are really surprised. You know, President Biden said himself that he is there for union workers and he wants them to have sick leave. But he said in this situation, you know, they did what they could. You know, is that enough?
So, as you heard there in that video that I have there, I want to hear some of you. Ernie, I know that you're in the trucking industry very much. I want to hear your opinion on it. Zero, definitely, you can put some advice in there of what you think of a lot of it that's going on with that.
Well, I think they should have stayed out of it myself, you know, because it's going to throw everything in a whirlwind. You know, there's going to be a lot of people pissed off about this crap, you know, and they're not going to stand for it. You know, we can't let the government run us. We run the government. Don't you know that? We, the people, run the government, not them running us, but they're seeming to get away with a lot of crap here within the last couple of few years, you know, and it's downright making me mad, you know, but I'm one person, you know. We need the whole United States to back us up, but we can't get just, you know, we can't do it. Nobody wants to back us up, you know. I mean, it's a crazy world that we live in now. Crazy world.
Zero, you want to add something in there?
I think they should definitely stay out of it. It should be between you guys and whatever's going on. You guys are the drivers. You guys know what's going on. They need to be hearing you guys more than anybody else.
I'm full screen. Well, see, here's my point on it, because if they were intervening on union talks, and since they passed this bill now from the House to the Senate, I believe all unions across the U.S. are going to be affected by this, because they're just basically going to push, you know, collective bargaining now just basically, in my opinion, got thrown out the books, because now, you know, between worker and company, you don't have no collective bargaining anymore. It's basically, you just can't strike, especially with the railroad, which, you know, hauls, I don't know how much tonnage across the rails. If you look at a railroad, a real long railroad coming from the west going to the east, those trains are well over 200, 300, 400 lengths in cars long, double stacked. So imagine if the railroad did go on strike, and having those many cars with a double stacked container on the top of it, or a trailer. I mean, it literally put the it definitely put the railroad at a point where they have no choice. But if they would have actually literally striked, how much product would have been sitting along everywheres and not been moved?
Very true.
There's been a lot of freight been sitting there. I don't know if there's still some out there on ships. I don't know how that's going, or haven't heard anything about it in a while. But there were ships still out there waiting with freight out there, you know. I don't know. But anyway, it's been just worse with the freight out there that the railroads, you know, got right now. It's been hard on us guys as truck drivers, you know, push more and more, you know.
But you're not in this round, are you?
Yeah, they could even been a little bit not doing what they're doing, you know what I'm saying? Give them what, you know, give them something, but, you know. Oh my gosh, that's a hard subject, you know.
It is, because I mean, if you really look at it, like I said, with the government all of a sudden stepping in and just doing what they wanted to do and not think about the employee, you know, it basically, you know, the government is just like anything else. I mean, look at us in the trucking industry, how much the government has stepped in, changed the hours of service, have done this, they had that 30-minute break. And then at one point in time, there was a cap actually on how much fuel you could actually buy. I don't have that problem anymore now, because I mean, before you couldn't get over 150 gallons of diesel fuel, and many of other things that just keep involving more and more and more, let alone with all the IRP tax, fuel tax, IFTA tax, and everything else that we deal with as truck drivers out here.
Back when, you remember the airlines when they struck, back with Reagan, and it started back then. You know, Reagan stepping in, no, you're not going to strike, you know. And we were getting away with more and more and more. And the unions set wages for the United States. That's what sets base for everybody and how they get paid. The union does. And if we lose the unions, you know, shit's going to go downhill, you know. And that's the way it's looking. That the government's just taking away our rights, keep away and taking it away, you know. We just can't stand as a group no more. Nobody wants to stand as a group. As you say, they don't want to step in, you know. They don't stand with you. They're all, I'm watching us dwindle as Americans. You know, it just makes me sick
Right.
to my stomach.
The president of Georgetown.
That's just
Right.
my thoughts
You know,
on
and
that thing.
I kind of figured, you know, with this last hours of service, they would have done away with at least that 30-minute break, because I mean that would have been one of the greatest things I think that they would have done,
Oh,
because
I know.
now with the hours of service splitting between a 7, a 3 and a 7, or 2 and 8, you know, you would think that would have been good enough to do away with that 30-minute break after an 8-hour drive.
See, I kind of use that for me instead of, you know, for them. I use that for me. You know, in case it benefits me, I'll do an 8-2 split or a 7-3 split, just as long as it benefits me, not the
Right.
company. You know what I'm saying? As long as it benefits me to where I can make that money, take that break, where I can just do 8 hours and I'll take a 10-hour break or whatever. You know, I'm gonna use it for me. I don't want to use that
Right.
half hour, you know, because that just that takes away from my life. You know, and that's just bullcrap how they come up. Well, you got to have a half hour break. That's a college kid telling us we need a half hour break. You, as well as I do, I know I could sit there for 11 hours and drive that whole 11 hours. I could still do it
Yep.
today,
All right.
you know?
And see, that's one of the things, you know, because like when I used to travel out west leave from Green Bay, go all the way straight across to Washington State, I mean, I would split log that whole thing, because then you're not taking that half-hour break, because otherwise, if you think about it, if you drive from Green Bay all the way to Washington State and doing that half-hour break, I mean, you're almost doing 31 and a half hours just to take that, you know, stop and take that extra half-hour break. Now, if you split log that all the way, you know, stop after 5, take a 3 or 2 hour break, finish the rest of your day, get all the way across, and then finish either with, you know, 7 or an 8. And then the next thing you know, you're back on the road, and it actually benefits you more that way, instead of stopping the whole 11-hour day.
It saves you hours by doing that. You know, saves you hours, and it's more time you get to stay at home.
Right.
That's what I take it as. And I've done that going across and coming back. I benefited me, not them.
Right. So I've got another video here that I'm going to play. So hold on. We got another one here. This will auto mute our mics, so listen in, everybody.
In labor news, President Biden sided with big business and has urged Congress to intervene to block freight rail workers from going on strike, saying it could devastate the economy. On Monday, Biden asked lawmakers to quickly pass legislation to impose a labor deal that's been opposed by the majority of freight rail workers. In a statement, Biden said, quote, "As a proud pro-labor president, I'm reluctant to override the ratification procedures and the views of those who voted against the agreement. But in this case, where the economic impact of a shutdown would hurt millions of other working people and families, I believe Congress must use its powers to adopt this deal," Biden said. Many union activists criticized Biden's move to block a strike. Ron Kaminko, a locomotive engineer and organizer for Railroad Workers United, spoke to Democracy Now! Last night.
So unfortunately, the most labor-friendly president, quote unquote, we've ever had, basically has opted to side with the Class 1 carriers, Class 1 rail carriers, because he had the opportunity, and he's had that opportunity since this whole debacle began, to basically urge, coax, cajole, and otherwise badger and bully the rail carriers into meeting what are very, very modest demands of rank and file railroad workers. And in his latest request here to Congress to legislate us basically back to work before we even had a chance to strike, under the terms and conditions of the tentative agreement, which is not very popular with the rank and file. We have unions that represent 55% of rail labor have voted this contract down. And so we could have seen Biden actually opt for telling Congress he would like to see Congress pass legislation that mediates an end to the conflict, under which more favorable terms to the workers, which is to say a handful of sick days. And that's what this has come down to. Railroad workers traditionally have had no sick time. And now with the very, very harsh attendance policies that we're faced with, railroad workers get very, very little time off work. And it has come to a crunch point. We're seeing workers leaving the industry in droves, in numbers never, ever believed possible. People with 15 and 20 years seniority are leaving the industry. And there's a crisis out there. And I don't believe the Biden administration quite understands the depth of this crisis. And I don't think they understand that they could have actually taken an approach that would have benefited rail labor and potentially benefited the rail industry itself. Instead, unfortunately, the president is urging Congress to basically legislate an agreement based upon what he brokered along with Marty Walsh, Secretary of Labor, 2 months ago. But the rank and file have made it very clear that they are not content with this contract that simply does not address the quality of work-life issues.
This all comes as profits soar for the freight rail industry, which has reduced the rail workforce by 30% over the last 6 years.
Since I entered the industry more than a quarter century ago, I have watched as the rail industry has made record profits. The operating ratio when I hired in, I believe, was somewhere in the mid-80s. It dropped into the 70s, 60s. The rail industry is hell-bent on achieving a 0.50 operating ratio, and who knows where they might even want to go from there. Stock buybacks has reached record proportion. The dividends that have been paid out to stockholders are enormous. Warren Buffett was, for one, who bought BNSF outright a decade ago, will state unequivocally that his investment has paid off to him way more than he even expected it to. The wealth that has been accumulated by these rail carriers over the last quarter century, while they have moved less freight than they did 16 years ago, shippers from practically every major shipping group that ships by rail is in a state of total discontent. They have complained vociferously to the Surface Transportation Board, demanding better service. The rail industry has gouged their customers. They've shed themselves of about a third of their employees in the last 6 years. And they've basically pissed off just about everybody in the country except for their stockholders. And now we come down to the wire in contract negotiations where literally what separates the parties is a handful of sick time that most workers actually have achieved decades and decades ago, but railroad workers have traditionally gone without. And we finally have said enough is enough. We want a handful of sick days, and yet the rail carriers see fit to dig in their heels. These Fortune 500 companies who have made, like I say, record profits these last 25 years and refuse to give us anything. And unfortunately, the Biden administration is incapable of siding unequivocally with us as the most labor-friendly president ever. We would have expected that from him. So there's a lot of upset and a lot of discontent right now amongst the working railroaders.
All right. So after hearing that, I mean, literally, it takes away from, in my opinion, employees, like I said before, with collective bargaining, for being able to get, equal rights for what they, work at a company for, whether if it's higher pay, better benefits, better health care, better retirement, more days off. I do have friends of mine that do work in the railroad, and I mean, they've been there well over 20, 25 years, almost 30 years already. And it's like, for as much as they work nonstop, I believe definitely that a lot of them should have a more opportunity to collect a better pay, but not have the government step in and say, oh, no, we're going to shut you from being able to do collective bargaining and everything else. So, I mean, it just seems like it's government just wants to control everything, it seems like, when it comes to trucking, railroad, the airlines, and it just keeps going on and on.
I agree. They need more time off. A human body needs some breaks, And as much as they work, they work through holidays. They don't even get to spend time with their families like they need to. Yeah, I think they need to start thinking about that a little bit more.
Right.
Some
Indeed.
people don't mind it, but there is people that do.
Yeah, because there's definitely people that are going to be working during the holidays. I mean, the healthcare, you got the military working. There are going to be truck drivers out there. There's airlines that are definitely going to be working. Many people that don't realize that during Christmas, it's not just shut down and all of a sudden you go home. I mean, a lot of people are celebrating their Christmas very late into the day. They're away from their families. I mean, yes, some of us that are truck drivers, we can definitely be away from our families, but there's some of us, that might be owner operators. I mean, we're home for the holidays. I mean, I'm home for the holidays but do I actually make money being home? No, not really, unless I got somebody else driving the other truck. That's the only way I make money. But I'd rather be home than sitting on the road waiting for a place to open up, and maybe the load end, working for a holiday, they only say, oh, well, we're only going to give you about maybe $500 extra to work the holidays. And it's like, no, it's not worth that. By the time I sit, running the fuel and all that other stuff, everything calculates up to almost that amount. It's just not worth it for me.
Agree.
Chaplain, if you want, come on up here, because I know you were a truck driver at one point in time. I'd like to get hear your input.
And I come from a long line of truck drivers. My grandfather, my dad. I'm sure I have a few siblings out there that are not siblings, but family members that do it. I have not. I have drove truck before, but very little. But I never went into it. I thought about it though.
Right. Super. But, I know you're a truck driver. You can get up here too, because you're part of that transportation industry as well.
My dad's a truck driver. He works for Triple D Construction in Illinois. My mom is a bus driver for Illinois Central. They've been driving for probably over 20 plus years, both of them. And my dad actually rolled a truck a few years ago because they overloaded him in the quarry. And he told them, and it was wet, and the truck went bloop. Yeah, he got paid for that, needless to say, but he no longer works for them. He works for probably one of the best construction companies in our state. So he's actually working and making more money and he's happier. So
I love how we just shut down so many presents.
Yeah, because I definitely know that I've been into other companies, and so I mean, I thought maybe at those other companies the grass was much greener, but obviously I didn't stay at those companies. If I'm now over at where I'm at now, with a signed lease, but for the most part, a lot of the things that I'm about to say, I mean, a lot of the truck drivers that are out there on the road, a lot of them that are company, a lot of them may not realize what is all in played, with you being a company driver. But the company itself, if you do not have at least 2 years experience, and we'll name one company, we all kind of know it's starts with an S, ends with a T. Basically, they are self-funded insurance, and they could put anybody they want on the road, not have any problems with that matter, and they can just put them on the road, even if they only got like maybe barely less than 5 months behind the wheel, and they put them on the road. But insurance companies rule the trucking world just like they do the pharmaceutical world, anything else for that nature. I mean, it just goes on and on, because definitely that's how insurance works. So, I mean, they dictate whether or not, everything else. It's like, if this person's got less than 2 years driving experience, they're like, nope, we don't want him on the road. He's very high risk. And believe it or not, when you first start in trucking, you're more of a higher risk driver than one that's been seasoned. Definitely has at least probably 10, 15, 13 years experience. And then your insurance starts going down slowly but surely. So, I mean, that's why I was saying with a lot of people that are getting into the trucking industry now, I mean, the insurance, it's probably up there. But then after time, when, become more of a driver and then basically get more experience, that all of a sudden then basically everything kind of goes down after a while. Okay, feedback, turn your volume down. Is that better, Ernie? Kind of like stick everybody back down to like 90, 85% in case we don't hear you. Chaplain, you got me playing in the background on YouTube? Turn your turn your YouTube off of your phone or turn the volume down at least.
I have no idea.
Keep your restream volume the way it is.
Although free presents, you can't complain, right?
I shut that down when I was heading your way.
Yeah,
Marjo!
If you have this playing in the background on another device, and if you don't turn your volume down, like right here, I've actually got the volume turned down. Then it back feeds into this one.
Mm-hmm. And if you're on a computer, just mute the YouTube.
Right.
What up, Casey?
Casey, good to see you. Marjo, you're lucky I haven't thrown a snowball at you yet.
We're getting some snow right now. Got about
it's been kind of snowing on and off today.
Oh, just a heads up. I was told by my mom that they got a big snowstorm coming in pretty much on your last day of the week.
Oh, nice.
So.
Yeah, because my week will actually be pretty short.
Looking forward to that one. How about it, everybody?
Yeah, because my week this week is going to be pretty short. I'll be leaving out tomorrow sometime, and then be done really quick.
Probably 2 loads and then home.
You got her going over there, Chaplain? I think we paused him. I didn't pause him, but I think he paused himself. Yeah. He'll make it back. It sounds like Ernie will be leaving out himself tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, I think this is with the railroads, with the government pushing them basically to work instead of letting the collective bargaining work. I just really think that now all of a sudden, many unions across the U.S., maybe not some that are very as big as other unions, but definitely it's going to be basically the government saying, nope, you got to go to work, deal with it, and we're going to give you what we want. It's not what you want. It's basically the way it's going on. Chaplain, you back?
Got it, buddy?
I think I do.
All right.
All right. We don't have no back feed. Good.
Not like he gives us anything.
I thought
how's it going,
I shut it
Chaplain?
down, but I really didn't. Well, hello.
Good to see you.
So, Chaplain, let's get your 2 cents in here. And what do you think of everything that happened? Now, remember, everybody, this all happened like a few weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago. So, I mean, unfortunately, we're just following up on this now. But for the most part, this happened about 3 weeks ago when we started to hear about this out in the trucking world.
Well, from what be of it, I think there's way too much regular government. It's just everything's overregulated. I know that just before about you, they're backed by one party. That's the problem right there, because they're not looking out for the worker. They're looking out for for lining up some wash. Worried about you or me.
Right. Yeah, because it's definitely one thing. I do know this with one company that their contract wasn't due almost until like the next year. And basically what ended up happening is they pushed for a new contract and not really thinking about the employees that are coming in now. It was more or less that they, and I don't remember exactly what they tried to do for everything else, but some of the senior employees that were there were turning it down, but all the new employees that were coming in there basically voted yes to push that when others have said no, this ain't going to benefit you. But in the long run, they're the ones that are going to actually be losing out on pay and major benefits and anything else for that nature, because of the fact is they just wanted to get a contract signed and keep their jobs.
Well, back when I was getting ready to retire, I wasn't retired yet. I had to retire the pain. And the state of Michigan decided they were going to get out. And there was, I didn't take it. I would have no medical insurance if I take it that year. 6% annual raise, which was not basically when you think about it, nice. But what about the new coming in? They ended up eliminating our jobs after we left. The union backed all. They just said, "Bye, you done, guys." What good did that do them? You know, the ones that signed the contract to get out. We knew it was going to happen. And working for the state like I did, when the state decides to cut jobs, do it right across the board.
And see, that's one of the things, you know, I know with a lot of companies right now, I mean, they're looking for people to hire. I see signs, you know, left and right, even with the rough economy, that companies are looking for people to work. I've gone to restaurants, me and my wife have seen people, you know, looking to hire people, and it's like you go into a restaurant, you wait almost like an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours even before you finally get in and out of there, because they're so short staffed of people. But though when the government comes in and says, nope, we're forcing you to work, you're going to have to deal with what the law says, and that's basically it.
Wendy's. They was Wendy's. They only had 4 people working in there. Normally they have 10. So it tells you what they're doing. Right? The $15 an hour raise they got, the raise $15 an hour. They had to cut corners, and that's why you're here to wait, because their wages had gone up, so they had to cut the overhead back in order to survive. For the business to survive, that's the only way they could do it.
Right.
So, in essence, that $50 wage everybody's yelling for jobs.
So we got another video here we're gonna play. I got a grand total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in total here. So let's pause here and listen to the next video.
New York Times staff members are back to work after a 24-hour strike over contract disputes. It's just the latest labor action after a year of renewed interest in organization efforts. Anne Marie is taking a look. What do you have?
It has been a major year for labor action. In fact, let's give you the numbers. Roughly 200,000 American workers went on strike so far in 2022. And just to give you some context, that's a 42% increase from 2021. And these strikes have touched industries big and small, all corners of the country. One of the biggest industries impacted, and this should not come as a surprise, it is healthcare. 14% of those who went on strike were healthcare workers. They are still dealing with the ramifications from the COVID-19 pandemic. And, their jobs are already pretty stressful jobs. The largest of these actions was in Minnesota, involving 15,000 nurses. It's actually considered the largest ever strike of private sector nurses. Another area impacted by the pandemic and labor action is education. And we're not just talking about, grade school or high school. We're talking about at the university level. At that level, tens of thousands of academic workers have been on strike for weeks in California alone. 48,000 academic workers are on strike throughout the University of California system. And then we move on to workers in the corporate sector. They also continue to strike over grievances. In the past year, there have been more than 60 walkouts nationwide at Starbucks locations. And the largest one involved 2,000 workers on their Red Cup Day. That is a major promotional day for Starbucks. Amazon workers also organized throughout the year in multiple strikes, and they achieved a major victory in getting the Amazon's first factory to unionize. That happened earlier this year. And this is not an issue that's going away anytime soon, because there have actually been a number of actions that have been sort of narrowly averted strikes involving 150,000 railroad workers, 15,000 airline pilots at Delta, and 60,000 Hollywood workers. So support for unions in the U.S. is actually currently at 71%. That's according to Gallup, and that is the highest point since 1965. Multiple labor unions have said that they have seen a record-breaking number of organizing petitions filed in different industries. So 2023 could see even more labor action. Meg.
Wow, those are some staggering figures.
So some of those figures I don't believe to be 100% accurate. I just really don't, because we all know how media likes to cover everything all up under all that. Anybody would care to join response on that?
Yeah, they definitely need to think twice about checking those numbers a little more.
How do you pick what you want?
Yeah, because I do know, like, somebody's got something playing in the background here.
Two and two, and I'm coming from here. I'm from here. I know that. I ain't got nothing on with this.
Is that better?
No, I don't hear it now.
I hear Chaplin in the background. Hold on a minute. Let me move these away. Maybe that'll help.
All right.
Test. Test. Oh, you still hear it. Move it away. See, Chaplin, you're not the only one that has problems.
Yes.
Still getting feedback from somewhere. I think we got it. Yep, I think we got it. Anyways, moving on. Oh. Anyways, I've heard
it's not my end.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people with Amazon that have tried to create a union, and they've had no go of it because all of a sudden, some way or somehow, the company has kind of talked them out of it. But for that most matter, it just seems like it's you just can't seem to win one way or the other, because I know a lot of people that work at Amazon inside the building, they just hate it because of how everything is happening there, and rather just get a union there so that they get more equal rights and have a better way of life, and not having to work their butt off in very extreme heats inside a building that they don't want to put an AC unit on.
I guess I'm not familiar with what goes on at Amazon as far as how the workers are treated. I know that my niece is working on in New York, and she said that 17 hours an hour. As far as I was making. Well, true, I don't know.
Yeah, because I know, I guess if you don't enough support, everybody's worried more or less about keeping a job instead of trying to change the future, then you're not going to ever win. You'll just never win whatsoever. But I mean, that's where everybody's literally got to stand up, and say, hey, we want better working rights where we're at.
It depends on the union that's representing them. If they do it right, it can be a good thing, but most of the time, I mean, they're interested in going for all the money they can get for their work, and then taking care of it for themselves.
Chaplain, wherever your mic is, bring it a little bit closer because it's kind of a little harder to hear.
Well, I'm working off my so that could be why. No.
I still hear kind of like a rumble in the background. It's like you're almost getting to be Darth Vader.
Well,
gotta love technology.
Yeah.
It's gotta be my phone.
I just keep myself muted and my kid can't be quiet. He's playing his video games. So.
Yeah, for some odd reason, I don't know if it's not working on my end here tonight.
It ain't any of my stuff. I checked everything.
Okay. Hold on to it.
Because usually everything always works.
Once I got the mic on.
Yeah, I think I found the problem on my end. Is that better?
I do better.
There we go. We finally got something in here achieved.
Yeah, Chaplain, you said that.
Well, while Chaplain's figuring it out, we're going to go to the next video.
The bill I'm about to sign ends a difficult rail dispute and helps our nation avoid what, without a doubt, would have been an economic catastrophe at a very bad time in the calendar. Our nation's rail system is literally the backbone of our supply chain, as you all well know, and so much of what we rely on is delivered on our rail. From clean water to food and gas and to every other good. Rail shutdown would have devastated our economy. Without freight rail, many of the U.S. industries would literally shut down. In the event of a shutdown, my economic advisors report that as many as 765,000 Americans, many of them union members themselves, would have been put out of work for the first time and within the first 2 weeks of the strike alone. Communities could have lost access to chemicals necessary to ensure clean drinking water. Farms and ranches across the country would have been unable to feed their livestock. And thanks to the bill Congress passed and one I'm about to sign, we've spared the country that catastrophe. At the same time, we ensured workers are going to get a historic 24% wage increase over the next 5 years, improved working conditions, and peace of mind around their health care. And look, I know this bill doesn't have paid sick leave that these rail workers and frankly every worker in America deserves. But that fight isn't over. I didn't commit we were going to stop just because we couldn't get it in this bill that we were going to stop fighting for it. I've supported paid sick leave for a long time. I'm going to continue that fight till we succeed. And I want to thank Congress, Democrats and Republicans, for acting so quickly. I know this was a tough vote for members of both parties. It was tough for me, but it was the right thing to do at the moment, to save jobs, to protect millions of working families from harm and disruption, and to keep supply chains stable around the holidays, and to continue the progress we've made and we've continue to see on the economy. For months, You couldn't look anywhere without seeing headlines screaming gas prices at the pump are up. But look, folks, gas prices are down. And you barely hear anything about it right now. They're continuing to go down. And there's a lot more that's going to happen. They're down more than $1.50 a gallon since the summer. And they continue to fall. And our economy continues to grow. The economic report, the GDP is up even more than it was previously thought. We continue to create jobs, lots of jobs. And today, we've learned that the economy added 263,000 jobs in November. Now, we've now created 10.5 million jobs since I took office, more than any administration in history at this point in the presidency. And 750,000 of them are domestic manufacturing jobs made in America. Unemployment rate remains near an all-time 50-year low, 3.7%. And wages for working families, I want to say this again, wages for working families, in fact, over the last couple months have gone up. These wage increases are larger than the increase in inflation during that same period of time. And so we're in a position now where things are moving. They're moving in the right direction. As we go into the holiday season, here's what this all means. The Americans are working, the economy is growing, wages are rising faster than inflation, and we've avoided a catastrophic rail strike. It means our plan to build the economy from the bottom up and the middle out. You're tired of hearing me say that, but it's working. And the wealthy are still doing very well while the middle class and the poor are having a shot. I want to thank Congress once again for being partners today, for averting this disaster and keeping our economy on a stable footing during the holiday season. I want to thank you all, and I'm going to reach over here and sign this bill and make it official.
So, we all know a lot of that is being on there being mentioned is not absolutely true.
Kind of hoping I fixed the problem.
Actually, I hear something in the background. I do. Chaplain, when you first hit that link in YouTube, you need to close out your YouTube that you were watching in the very beginning.
I did.
And then, is your microphone near the speakers or something?
It's pretty close to it.
Yeah, that's where we're getting feedback. Otherwise, down in the bottom here, you got to mute your mic. Otherwise, mute your mic, and then you won't hear the feedback as bad. Can you hear? Yeah, I still hear myself.
Let's see. I lowered it down. See if that did anything.
Like down here should be like a mic and also a video thing. If you mute the mic, then this way you'll actually hold on. I can just mute him myself. So we'll do it that way. But you know, the way he was sitting there talking about, we all know that's out the back door. We've actually had a far better economy years ago, where diesel fuel was all the way down to almost like $2 a gallon. Never had a shortage of anything on our shelves. If anybody has seen that panel before I did of the shortages in our local Walmart, I mean, the economy was booming a lot more than what it is now. Usually on my live streams, a lot of you see that I will express out what the fuel price is, what the gasoline price is. That's no joke. In that area where I'm at that given point in time, that is what everybody is paying for diesel fuel or gasoline in that area. And that's either from Ohio, Indiana, Michigan, Iowa, Minnesota, wherever I'm at. I let everybody know exactly where that is. And it was just gotten worse over the last few months here and everything else for that nature. But everything that he's mentioning, has he brought it down? Well, he's brought it down maybe about 75 cents, you know, but I mean, he's only been in office for how many years? So he's not really doing anything significant, not like we had for last number 45 that was in there. But for the most part, you know, it's not helping much. And then a lot of this now, with everything else going on with the railroads and the price of fuel for them, I mean, we've even heard before in the industry that basically the railroads were thinking about striking because of the fact is the fuel cost is way too high. So with a lot of us that are owner operators, I mean, we get the fuel surcharge. A lot of those people that are owner operators out there might not be getting that fuel surcharge. And that's why a lot of guys are actually starting to leave out of the industry, because they can't afford to keep up paying for the fuel. Because without that fuel surcharge from a broker or anybody else for that matter, it's not happening. Chaplain, you got everything going there?
Okay. Well, I hope so. I've been sitting there for about 5 months. It's not approved any.
Well, it's gotten a little bit better. I know you got your headset. Couldn't you talk out of your headset?
Yes. No way I can do that. I can do that on the tablet. I got to be going in a few minutes anyway, so it won't even really much better.
Well, you're gonna probably might have that same feedback on the next feed that you're going, so that's why I'm kind of giving you a heads up right away.
Well, I'm going a direct connection to the stream, so I can even go on YouTube at all.
I'm trying to think of something that you can do.
You're on a computer?
Chaplain, you on a computer?
I got 3 computers in here. I got one of them shut down.
You don't have me on all 2 of the other 2, do you?
No.
Okay.
Probably should have done the big one.
Yeah, because see, like right now, I'm actually using a headset here, or headphones. So otherwise, that's where a lot of the feedback was coming before.
The microphone on this is right by the speaker.
And that's what's giving a lot of back static.
I'm going to see if I can turn that fan off my other computer, see if that'll quiet it down any.
But I would see if you can get like a little headset or wire set, that you could plug into your computer, and then this way it'll differentiate between the speakers, like what Zero's got there. But normally what he has is when he goes live, he usually has those on when he's live streaming, and me, I've usually got the Bluetooth on. So that definitely halts a lot of it down.
Right, the headset I got on right now is like they're in my ears.
That's probably what I should. I probably shouldn't even be using this tablet.
What time was Ruby Dive Girl gonna do her panel?
6 minutes from now.
6 minutes from now?
Yeah.
All right. What I'm going to do is kind of hurry up and run this last video. And we'll kind of shut this down, and then we'll get Aruba Dive Girl's link in there, and we will shove this over to Aruba Dive Girl shortly thereafter.
Guys, Ronan here. One of the most common questions that I get asked in this channel is whether or not it's worth to get into trucking. With self-driving trucks on the horizon, seemingly about to take over the industry at any moment. Even with the introduction of e-logs and regulations, the trucking industry has been relatively unchanged by the effects of globalization and technology. However, there is a common fear that if you enter the industry right now, your career will be cut short by the incoming wave of automation. Is it worth becoming a trucker today? Will self-driving trucks take your job over the next 5, 10, or 20 years? We have compiled all the facts and data to help you make your decision on whether or not you want to get into trucking. So first, let's get into what is self-driving cars, what is level 0, level 1, level 2, level 3, level 5 of autonomous driving. So let's get started. Level 0, no automation, where the human driver steers, brakes, accelerates, and navigates through traffic. Level 1 automation adds driver assistance, which controls either the steering or vehicle speed. One example being adaptive cruise control. Level 2 automation is partial automation. The vehicle can steer, accelerate, and brake at the same time, but is only meant to assist the driver. Level 3 automation is conditional automation, which means that it can manage most aspects of driving, but only in the right circumstances. But because there are scenarios it can't navigate, the driver must be alert and ready to take over at all times. This is the highest level we can achieve right now. Level 4 automation is the level that is being researched right now, which is called high automation. There is no longer any human oversight or control needed to ensure the vehicle's operation. However, a driver will still need to be in the car to ensure that the vehicle still functions under select conditions such as bad weather or complicated traffic conditions. An example could be that the driver will have to drive the truck from a yard to a major road, and the truck navigates itself on the major road and highways, while the driver takes back control after the truck exits a major road. Level 5 automation is when trucks become fully autonomous and self-driving, meaning that there is no driver needed inside the vehicle and there is no steering wheel or braking inside the vehicle. This is a true self-driving truck. Two interesting things here. Firstly, we still have 2 levels to go before we're able to achieve a level of full automation. Secondly, there are features in the trucks and vehicles today that are already partially self-driving, such as adaptive cruise control and lane centering. More on the first point. We're currently only at level 3 driving automation, with several companies currently experimenting with level 4 vehicles on the road. One notable being robo-taxis, autonomous driving taxis. However, even just a few years ago, many people optimistically believed that these taxis would be everywhere by 2020. Yet, they are still nowhere to be seen. It turns out that the last 10% of developing of self-driving vehicles is much harder than initially believed, and will still take years to achieve. While there's still a lot of debate over when the level 5 truly self-driving cars will emerge, experts estimate that we are decades away. Hey guys, Ronan here. I wanted to personally thank you for watching this video. I've been recruiting drivers for about 15 years now, and I've heard hundreds and hundreds of stories of how drivers are getting mistreated by their current employers and how they're being taken advantage of by our current industry providers. So I wanted to create a channel in order to unite North American drivers, share my knowledge, educate drivers to become more successful, and hopefully one day to make a positive impact on our industry. Some concerns that I have in our industry revolve around how drivers are being mistreated by their current employers, safety on the road, parking for drivers, and driver compensation. When we unite, we can make a difference. This video on this channel is not meant for recruiting purposes. As me and my team continue to produce high quality and interesting videos, I do need your support in order to make a difference in this North American market. Please subscribe to our channel. And if you're enjoying the video you're watching, give it a thumbs up. And now, back to the video. So, how are self-driving semis different from cars? To begin, we have to understand that autonomous semi-trucks have more obstacles to overcome than regular vehicles. The reason are as follows. Number 1, trucks are much larger and lack the ability of maneuver, less ability to navigate around danger, and take longer to slow down. Number 2, if the sensor is on top of the cab, there's issues with it being blinded by the sun. Number 3, a semi-truck with a trailer is much larger than a car and would require more complex programming. In cities with frequent stops and tight turns, this would be a problem. Who are the major players behind self-driving truck development? There are several companies that are developing and experimenting with level 4 autonomous trucks, including Daimler, Waymo, Tesla, Embark, and TuSimple. So what is the timeline for self-driving trucks? According to experts, level 4 autonomous semi-trucks might be invented as early as the next decade, even earlier than level 4 cars, because semi-trucks spend most of their time on the highway, and it's much easier to program a vehicle to drive on a highway compared to Manhattan. So now the million-dollar question. If these self-driving trucks are coming around in 2030, should we be worried about losing our job? Remember that even if self-driving level 4 autonomous semi-trucks are invented tomorrow, a driver is still required to be in the cab to take over in case of emergency and unfavorable conditions. In fact, the developers of semi-trucks fully intend having truck drivers be in a cab at all time. There are way too many things that can go wrong without the supervision of a driver, especially navigating around yards and loading and unloading. And just imagine all the testings and regulations needed before technology like this can even be implemented and accepted by the public. A good comparison is to think of the truck driver in the future being more like an airplane pilot. While airplanes are able to navigate automatically, the public will feel much safer with a skilled driver behind the wheel, and with a takeoff and landing manually controlled. So in conclusion, while level 4 autonomous trucks that still require a driver may be close, those level 5 fully autonomous semi-trucks are a long ways off. The main benefits of level 4 self-driving trucks are to increase the truck's fuel efficiency, productivity, costs, and reduce traffic on the highways. All these benefits can still easily coexist with a driver who's in the cab. The job of the truck driver will still exist for decades to come. The important question to ask are, how will this technology affect the lives of truck drivers driving them? How will it affect wages, the hours of service, licensing, requirements? Will the effect be good or bad? So if you're thinking of getting your license today, I'm of the opinion that yes, go for it. There's no way that self-driving cars are going to be happening anytime soon. Again, like I said in the video, I really feel that the self-driving trucks are going to start off from hub to hub, somewhere along interstate lines. So for example, if you're in Canada, let's take highway the 401. I really think they're going to start off with a hub, let's say in Sarnia, that's going to continue along the 401. So the self-driving trucks, I don't think are going to be going into the city centers. They're only going to be along the interstate highways from hub to hub. But you still need a truck driver to take it from that hub to the end user. I think that these hubs are long way out. I don't think we're anywhere near it, and I don't think we're going to see it in the next 10 and even 15 years. So I do see it going from hub to hub. And what the drivers are going to be doing while we're going from hub to hub is they're still going to be in the cabs to begin with, and then they will eliminate that. But I really think that the drivers are still going to be working locally. I think that long haul trucking will get faded out with autonomous trucking, but again, we're a long way out. But the need for truck drivers are always going to be there. Just look around. Everything, this desk, this computer, this laptop, my cell phone, everything came in a truck. So even though they might bring it from a hub to a hub with autonomous driving, but from that hub to the end user, to the consumers, to the stores, to the distribution centers, they are not going to be autonomous. It's all going to be done through truck drivers. So guys, in this video, I really want to know what you think about autonomous driving. Again, this is just my prediction and my script that I put together. I really want to know, what do you guys think? Does anybody have any inside information on autonomous driving that we don't know about that you maybe want to share with us? Leave us a comment below. Let us know what you think. Am I way off by talking about these hubs? Do you actually think that autonomous driving is going to eliminate the truck driver market? Well, there you have it, guys. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell.
So this is going to be the next discussion, and probably in another time we'll get a lot of people to actually think about this, because now if all of a sudden, you know, getting back to if the unions gets involved or gets basically kind of ousted out after a while, are we going to be dealing with basically self-driving trucks to hopefully take over the transportation industry next? Zero, you got your mic muted?
Oh yeah, I'm good. I was talking to the wife. Sorry. What's up?
Oh, gotcha. About the last one here I played about the self-driving trucks. Is that going to be the next thing that they expect to do, is eliminate drivers and have the self-driving trucks take care of everything? Or I guess the other thing is, are we going to have a catastrophe when they have self-driving trucks, and you'll see more accidents laying all over the place?
Oh yeah, that's the way they want it. You know, they don't want experienced drivers to be taking this up because they got to pay them. It's all about money, always.
Right.
I don't agree with it at all.
Right.
We deal with crazy truck drivers sometimes now that are not experienced. You know,
exactly.
You can tell when you're by an experienced one. Can you imagine going past a computer one? Isn't going to know what you're going to do.
Right.
People are unpredictable when they're driving.
Exactly.
Yeah, like last night, like my cousin just said, he witnessed an Amazon driver get plowed right into because he was sitting there checking his route.
Right. Exactly. So I guess we're going to leave the discussion as that for right now. But if definitely somebody has more to come up, I mean, they can definitely. What town are we in? We are sitting in an enclosed bunker. That's funny. But definitely, we are going to hand this over to Aruba Dive Girl. I did post that link in here. So we'll post that link in here again because they are having a panel discussion over there tonight. But definitely, we're going to keep this panel discussion open for a further debate. Definitely, I want to thank Chaplain, Zero TV Squad, Semi Ernie for joining in tonight, and definitely, like I said, want to thank everybody that has gotten me over 1,000. What do Teamsters think about self-driving trucks? Well, that's a good question, Andrew. It's a very good question. The only thing I can say is the person that's in DC right now, you should have thought about that with the union workers for Michaels that was doing the Keystone Pipeline. So there's another one for you to think about. So, but everyone, I want to thank everyone for getting me over 1,000 today. It's all of you, the subscribers, that do it. I just provide the content. Whether you guys like it, that's up to you, and whether or not you subscribe. But I definitely want to thank everybody that has a channel, whether if it's Zero TV Squad, Aruba Dive Girl, Chaplain Jethro, Bobby at Ride Along Gang, Semi Ernie. My list is so long right now with everybody that we help out that has helped us over the period of time. I definitely want to thank you. We will keep going. Who knows, get up to maybe that 2,000 mark. But we're definitely going to hand this over to Aruba Dive Girl. Tap that link right there. We should be over there. We probably might get involved. We might not get involved, but we'll probably have it playing in the background. So everyone, thank you for joining in. Thank you for reaching me up to 1,000 plus. And everyone have a great night.
Oh, and 50 followers on Twitch. So that should be coming soon too.
Yeah, and on Twitch too, that we did achieve the amount that we had on Twitch. Eventually, maybe there will be another platform. We haven't started one yet, but we do have another one in the works. Believe it or not, it probably might be Twitter. So we are looking into that. But we did a test stream on there. So far it worked, but we're trying to get everything else with our phones to match up. So to that, everyone have a great night. Thank you for joining in, and we will talk at you later next time on We the People 75. Take care, everyone.